Hello everyone, Briximus Prime back for another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Transformers Kingdom Commander class, Rodimus Prime. And this figure I have a lot of mixed feelings about, and a lot of people either adore this or don't like this figure, so anyway, let's just get right on into it by starting with the packaging. And now getting into the packaging, right up front here we got a very glorious looking imagery artwork right here of Rodimus in both his vehicle and his robot mode. It says Transformers Kingdom. It's got 8+ Hasbro Transformers Generations Dakar Tommy Tummy. Says his name's Rodimus Prime. It's kind of hard to see with the angle of this box. Continued artwork. See the Kingdom artwork right here on the side. Authentic Transformers! Here on the back of the packaging, we got the obligatory product shots and all the stuff that I'll be covering in this review. And, authentic Transformers! He is twice as authentic. So anyway, that is basically it for the box. Now let's start off with Rodimus Prime in his vehicle mode, because that's the mode that he comes packaged in. Now, just to get this out of the way before I get on into the vehicle, I was not excited about this guy when they first announced him as the next Commander class figure. I was just so disappointed with how this figure, like, this guy is so small, and Hasbro expects to justify the price of such a smaller figure as a Commander class by including this huge trailer that barely anyone even wants. You know, it's a whole debate, and I just really hated this guy being the next Commander class figure. But, that being said, this figure is amazing. The only thing that I hate is that Commander class price point. And yeah, I really do like the vehicle mode. I've always been a big fan of the Rodimus Prime Hot Rod vehicle mode. I love the spoiler and like the fire in the front. It's got amazing mechanical detail going all throughout it. And I like that blue windshield as well. And the silver painted exhaust pipes are perfection. This guy really is the epitome of this vehicle mode and the best version we probably will ever get of this vehicle mode. Now, this guy did also come with a huge trailer, like I mentioned. This is where all that extra cost went into making this figure, not counting the blast effects and other accessories. But, you know, pretty general in how this guy collapses in. Just slide him in there, and he's all hooked up and ready to go. And now he is a Winnebago that is ready to destroy some Decepticons. And the trailer itself is actually very nice. I like the fire coming across the side. I like the orange and red color scheme. The wheels roll very nicely. Got an Autobot logo there. This doesn't like to close in all the way sometimes. We'll get to that in a second. And again, same details right here. I like these big smokestacks coming across there and how they blend in with the vehicle. And then coming here to the back, you can, in fact, swing these open. I like those working pistons right there. You can lower this, and that has a nice little ramp in there. And currently right now he has a gun, but if you remove that, you actually can take bigger deluxe class car bots and you can actually put them there in the trailer. So that's a nice little play feature right there when you have that removed, because I understand that the Earthrise Optimus did not have this wide of a trailer, so that's just a fun little thing to mess around with this guy. And now getting into Commander class comparisons here. Here is Rodimus Prime with the Commander class Jetfire. So you guys can kind of see here how big, much bigger Jetfire is compared to Rodimus Prime. Here he is with Commander class Skylynx. These two seem a little bit more in scale with one another. Here he is with Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. And then here he is with that Earthrise Optimus Prime, or, you know, mine's the Netflix version, but for simplicity's sake, I just call it the Earthrise one. But, yeah, as you can see, there's the comparisons there between vehicle modes. And now getting into transformation. So, first off, this thing actually comes packaged. This trailer actually comes packaged in Battle Station mode, not in its trailer mode. So, I'll have a transformation on this turning into the battle, going from battle stand into this later. So we'll just move this off to the side, and we'll just transform Rodimus here. And now taking a look at Rodimus Prime here, I love how they did his face sculpt here. Very highly detailed. I like how his head sculpt looks like old and like he looks like he's older. He's got some age to him. You got the blue metallic paint there for the eyes. I like the chin. Nice helmet going around his head, and just overall great detail there in the head. Very, very nice. Almost masterpiece level. And this guy has quite the amount of detail, and I just really like the way how this robot mode came out. He's very well proportioned, he's the right size, he's got nice panel lining and mechanical detail with great articulation, and just overall, this is probably the best figure Hasbro has ever made of Rodimus Prime. And now getting into the articulation on Rodimus Prime here, starting with the head. The head can look up that far on two hinge joints. It can look up and look down that little bit, can look left and right and do a little bit of that head pivot. Shoulders can rotate forwards and back. This big old thing gets in the way. He does get a little bit of some butterfly joint. Shoulders can move in and out. He does get some double jointed elbows. He does also get a bicep swivel. He also gets a wrist swivel. And then at his hands, his index finger bends at the knuckle and bends right there. It is individual from the other fingers, which also bend at the knuckle and bend right there. And is very masterpiece style hand articulation. So very kudos to Hasbro on that. He does get a waist swivel. Hips can move forward. They can move back that little bit. He can move outward that far, and the side skirts move out more than they should, so they're not that far. Upper thigh cut. Double jointed knees. The ankles do move down. They can move up, and he does get a beautiful ankle pivot. So very nice articulation on this guy. He also has this little bit of articulation at his hands that allow them to bend inward, you know, to pull off some of those light our darkest hour poses. Okay, now let's talk about all of Rodimus Prime's accessories. We'll start with the smaller accessories, and then we'll move on to the trailer. So this guy comes with his sword, and it's a very, very nice sword, and it's probably one of my favorite accessories out of this. He also comes with his gun, which is very accurate to his original toy, and yada, yada, yada. And then he also comes with literally a pair of smoke that comes out of the smokestacks. Like, this guy literally just comes with exhaust. Like, I find that amazing. I would have preferred for these to have been just fire or flames, because then you could have put him inside the ones on his wrists, but yeah. He comes with a blast effect for the Matrix of Leadership, and then he comes with all of these Omega Supreme Skylinks blast effects all done in this great blue plastic, and I like getting a lot of blast effects with figures like this. As for accessory storage, obviously you know the Matrix of Leadership can just go right there in his chest. The gun can just store right there on his back. And that's really it for the robot mode. You could also have the sword back there, but there is another place you can store this. And actually on the trailer here, when it's, transformed, there is a red tray that actually slides out under here, as you can see, which is actually very similar to the MP10 or MP44 Optimus Prime. That's a feature on that figure. There is storage in here to store the black smoky effects, which honestly, this is where I keep them most of the time. You can also store the Matrix blast effect right here on those two slots, those two pegs, just right there. And then the sword can actually fit in here when you put it on an angle. And as you can see, the sword just barely fits in there, and that's where you can store that. And then you can just slide this right back under the thing right there, and then obviously these blast effects have nowhere to go. So anyway, and now just taking a brief look at the battle stand, because there's nothing much to really say here. It is covered in all these blast effects. It also does feature a little connector thing here for the bases, and this little gun turret thing can move. It's got a hinge joint here, it can rotate here. I like the silver here on the barrel. Got these little handles for Rodimus to hold on to. This thing is also removable entirely, and honestly, that is really it to this battle stand. There is literally nothing else that can be said about this other than, standing Rodimus on it. And now for robot mode size comparisons. Here's Rodimus Prime with the original Siege Commander class Jetfire, and here he is with the Earthrise Commander class Skylinks. And again, I'm still disappointed that this Rodimus Prime was so small for a Commander class. That doesn't mean his quality is not bad. I love the quality on this figure. He's he's basically masterpiece scale, like masterpiece level of quality, just, minus, like bits of metal or things like that. But it's his size that I really wish was a lot bigger, because I understand this guy needs to be in scale, but if you're not going to make if you're going to make the commander class figures so big, then you shouldn't have done Rodimus as the commander class. Now, if you're in the market for a high quality, highly articulated, highly detailed Rodimus / Hot Rod, I say go for the Studio Series 86 Hot Rod, because it's such a cheaper alternative for the Rodimus Prime. Now, again, I got the Rodimus Prime as a Christmas gift, so I didn't pay for it, but I still wanted to give you guys my official comparison on if you should buy this one or this one. If you're really that big of a hardcore fan, then blow all your money on this guy. But if you're trying to stay on a budget, but you still want a Hot Rod / Rodimus Prime, just go for this guy. This guy still comes with a lot of blast effects and a lot of accessories and things like that guy. He's just smaller, and he's a lot cheaper. And then here is Rodimus Prime with that Earthrise Optimus Prime, and as you can see, they're pretty in scale. I like the scale here. Rodimus Prime does look a little bit chubbier than Optimus does, but I'm actually not mad with the scale. I actually really do like these two. And that is basically it for my review on the Transformers Kingdom Commander class Rodimus Prime. This figure is amazing. He's got great articulation, great detail, a bunch of accessories, but the one thing I absolutely hate about this figure is his price. This figure sucks for his price. This guy is way too small for a commander class, and the trailer is a very, very fun thing, and I like the amount of accessories he comes with, which kind of makes me feel better about the price, but I just can't help that this guy is the one that took up a commander class price point. This guy could have easily had the trailer separated, and instead you could have just had him as just the Rodimus figure, and you could have sold him under the leader class price point with a bunch of those accessories. Something similar to the Hot Rod, only just a couple sizes up. The 86 Hot Rod, but a couple sizes up. But I won't deny this guy's trailer and all his accessories are really great, but is it worth the $80, even $90 price tag? In my opinion, only get this guy for $80. Don't pay any more than that. If you can get it for any cheaper than $80, great, go for it. But don't pay any more than $80. This guy is not worth it if you're paying up to like $90 or $100 for this guy. Now, unless you're like a big, die-hard Rodimus Hot Rod fan, then I don't care what price you get this for. Then if you're one of those die-hard fans, then you must get this, because this is probably going to be the pinnacle of Rodimus Prime / Hot Rod toys from Hasbro. But yeah, I like this figure. If I had to give this guy a rating, trying not to get my bias toward the price in the way, but I give him a solid 7, maybe more close to an 8 out of 10. Probably 8 out of 10. Love this guy, hate the price. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys did enjoy the review, be sure to like the video, be sure to comment down below, and be sure to subscribe for more Transformers and action figure videos. And I'll catch you guys next time.